So you guys are chasing after this group of goblins that just stole the MacGuffin muffin. They have about a 60-foot head start, just warning you. Wizard, what would you like to do? Yeah, I'm out of spell slots, so I guess I'll just dash with my action to try to catch up with them. Okay, you're about 5 feet away from him. Let's go to the barbarian. Well, I'm still raging, so I'm gonna scream out with bloody murder as I use my action to dash, double my movement speed, and try to catch up with them. Okay, yeah, just like the wizard, you're so close. There's about 10 feet left. Paladin, you're up. Yeah, I pray to Lathander that I can reach them as I use my action to dash and double my movement speed. As you guys are getting so close to finally putting your arms on them, they dash again, just getting away. Yeah, I don't know, just do the same thing, I guess? I guess I'll do it again. Yeah, I'll do the same thing again. Yep, and they dash third time. Yeah, so they're still about 5 or 10 feet away. Wait, what the hell are we supposed to do, man? If they just keep running away, we can't do anything. Yeah, so how about next time you don't put M&Ms in the Skittles bowl? Are you guys kidding me right now? Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that did get you well. Yeah, very smart. So you've probably been in a session like this, where the basic rules for D&D are not doing it for you. You want to drive excitement and some intrigue, but it's basically falling flat. The scenario is either too complicated for RP, or you want it to be more than just one ability check. Basically, the current rules for D&D are...
It's just pooper.
And they don't really solve for this. But don't worry, we're going to talk about how skill challenges can fix this for you and improve your games and your sessions. Hey there everybody, this is AJ and welcome to First Time DM. Cutting right to the chase, let's talk about when you should be using skill challenges. I apply a broad case of, do I want this to be cinematic and gripping and really drive my players into the session? And do I want this to have more than one area of failure, but really only one thing for success? And if you compare that against just climbing up a wall or opening a door, it's either open or it's closed, either climbed or you didn't. Now, apply this to running away from a dragon after stealing from its hoard. Just one ability check wouldn't do it service. Or if you're trying to disarm an arcane bomb inside of a wizard's tower, how using a couple ability checks to maybe disarm it or make it do less damage to the surrounding city. Or, like what I was explaining above, when you want to get that amazing MacGuffin muffin away from that group of dirty goblins that started to run away just after you threatened them a little. I mean, whatever you choose, just make sure that it has a material cost for failure. You want it to mean more than just a singular ability check, otherwise you're just wasting your table's time. When you're about ready to go into a skill challenge, you should let the table know.
So we're essentially beginning what is a traveling skill challenge.
You should be able to tell them the overarching goal on what they're trying to accomplish and let them try to describe how they're doing it using different ability checks. You're going to also tell them how many successes or failures they have to be able to get it. And to do all this in a cohesive fashion, just set them in initiative order. They're not going to be throwing elbows or anything, but you still need to be able to make sure everybody gets their turn. Now, if it's like with the goblins, after so many successes, they're either going to get that muffin back, or they're not going to. And then we're going to talk about failures and what can happen after. But what skills to use? Now, what skills your party uses to try to solve that overarching goal is totally up to you. You can let them be as creative as possible or put your foot down.
Cool. This feels like it might be a waste of a turn, but I have to do it because it just seems fun.
If they start to do something super ridiculous, like the wizard wants to pick up and throw the barbarian to try to get them over the bridge faster, well, maybe give that to them. It's all depending on your table. What I always try to do is think up what these ability checks could be ahead of time before the actual skill challenge. That way I'm not caught off guard. And I have a few ideas rolling around that usually my players tend to beat by being more creative. Also try to think of different ability checks that come from each of the core abilities. This could either be strength, intelligence, dexterity, crit, whatever. as long as you're covering all your bases, then all of your party can shine. You don't want to leave anybody in the dust. And the one rule with this is the same player cannot make the same ability check 2 rounds in a row. This means if you have a barbarian who's trying to disarm that arcane bomb by slamming his face into it repeatedly, well, he can do that once, but he can't go ahead and do it the next round. Maybe give it a break while your face heals. And that doesn't mean that your wizard can't see that and do the exact same thing. And I think that's just my guys at my table telling me they want to roll some new characters. Yeah, okay. Now let's talk about difficulty and number of checks. Now you can totally tweak this for whatever works best at your table for however many magic items you decided to give to your homebrew Cyberpunk Naruto-born Ford 150. It's out there. For any easy skill challenges, this should just be the rule of 3. You have 3 successes or 3 failures to determine if they succeed or not. Now, if you want to crank it up, I usually add 2, so 5 successes and only 3 failures for a medium difficulty skill challenge. And if you really want to crank it up, I would say about 7 successes and 3 failures. Now, this is really tough, and depending on where you set your DC, you can really challenge high-level players. But just remember, it's hard to be creative on the spot that many times in a row. So maybe if your table is used to doing that kind of RP or that kind of improvisation, otherwise I'd start them off at 3 successes just for the first few times. For the skill checks themselves, you should set the DC somewhere around their proficiency bonus. So this way, depending on if it's something that people are very good at or they're really scraping the bottom of the barrel with what they could do, it's still around their level. Feel free to take my chart below and seal it completely guilt-free. Let's talk about failures and roadblocks. For every success, you're 1 closer to beating your goal. But for every failure, there's going to be a large man with a pool noodle ready to smack you down, figuratively. This means you have to come up with slight complications or roadblocks prohibiting your team from being able to get to their goal. This could mean that there is a little bit of HP taken off for a failed check, or the NPC that you were trying to save from that dragon breath, well, turns to ash. Or it could also mean that that dirty little goblin took another bite out of that muffin. It was just making your mouth water. Oh God, I'm so hungry right now. You will need to come up with a total number of possible failures minus 1 from the overall checks. These consequences will still need to allow your players to achieve their goal, so don't go killing people just by failing an ability check. Finally, I usually try to keep a handful of these ready at all times. I usually put them in 2 groupings, either running away / chasing something, or solving a puzzle under a time limit. Now, it's always good to have a few variations on these and be able to put your own twist on it that'll fit into that session or fit into the overarching story. But regardless, if you're not that good at improv or you're just starting to be a first-time DM, shameless plug, then go ahead and have a few of these in your back pocket. Regardless, I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching these videos. For anybody who stuck around, I really hope this helps keep your game more entertaining, makes GMing easier. Thanks so much, everybody. This has been AJ with First Time DM. Cheers.